Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. I'm Mario Benitez.
And I'm Jose Ortiz. And on this week's episode, we're going to be talking about Upper West Side characters, artificial intelligence, and terrible HBO endings and shows.
It's trash. I can't believe it.
You know what? Let's just get into it. This is another episode of Saturday Gigantic.
Just grabbing lettuce and ripping it. The car crashes and you just throw a plate lettuce in a room. That's the shit that doesn't
The
make
life
sense.
of a Foley artist.
The life of a Foley. So it's called a Foley?
Yeah.
Foley. I never heard of that, man.
Yeah, it's just I really don't know the real meaning of it. I just know that's what they do.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen it a lot. You see a guy on his knees on like a box of sand.
Yeah.
With mad contraptions and shit.
It's like making the sound effects like from Jurassic Park.
Like a bowl of marbles.
Yeah.
Mad celery.
Crunching lettuce.
Water. A glove. A toy bird. And just make it sound like a UFO's landing.
Yo, it's crazy because that shit is so needed in production. Like,
yeah, it's everything.
You need that with everything.
You never really think about, where the fuck these sounds come from? They're really just fucking people up.
Yeah.
You don't think about that.
It's recreate the whole thing.
Fucking, it's George in the sandpit fucking crushing celery.
It's wild to think about, too, with even music. Because, like, some of the sounds that you originally hear on, like a keyboard that you buy, somebody created that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, all of that shit.
So, like, this like, musicians to this day, who's, like, the last person you know that created a sound? Or did some shit like that? There has been people. I can't pinpoint.
I'm so out of my realm of expertise on that one. I have no idea.
They give a lot of like credit, like, and maybe some like myth or some shit because he's so old. Like, but Aphex Twin, right? He's gotten credited. Like, for
he's got creative. Sounds. Yeah. Albert would know about that.
Like from the ground up.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of work that just goes into production alone. Just production of anything, man. Like, it just actually is funny because I was going to tell you about something that kind of involves you in, like, the neighborhood or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, for those that don't know, me and Mario both from, like, Upper West Side.
Upper West Side.
You know what I mean? Before moving to Harlem in 94, I spent all my time between Far Rockaway, Queens and Manhattan. So, went to school from, like, 1st to 3rd grade in Far Rockaway. Used to take that long-ass A-train ride. 2 A trains. You had to take an A train and transfer to like the A Ultra or some shit. I don't know what
the A Max.
Yeah, that shit went over water, and then you end up in the beautiful world of 67 Beach Street, I think it was.
Mad Max.
Yeah, I remember that shit was always a crazy voyage. But on the weekends, I was always in Douglas chilling because my grandparents lived at 830, and that's kind of where we also lived. But my mom was like back and forth. So during the week, I was in school in Queens. Weekends, I was over here in 830. But there was a time where I remember waking up, and it was the funniest thing because it was like 7 in the morning. I'll never forget. And I woke up to my uncle screaming. This is when I already left Queens, and I'm like at 830 full time or whatever.
Staying there.
Yeah, because this is when I transferred to PS75. Remember your mom? It was Mario's mother who tells my mom like, just put him in, PS75 right there and 96th Street. It's like 4 blocks away. You don't got to keep doing all that traveling. He has so many friends already in the neighborhood, this and that. So I'm like, all right, cool. I didn't really have much of a say, but I was definitely like, yo, yes. Like, I don't want to keep going back to fucking Queens.
Yeah.
So, growing up right there, I remember one day I wake up to my uncle screaming, oh, lo van a matar. Like, yo, they're going to kill him. And everybody kind of gets up and runs to the back room, like my grandparents' room. They had the window that faced the back. I used to live at 6F and 830. And when you face the back, you can see a bunch of people, like a mob of people, like trying to turn over a car. And it was like they were beating somebody's ass. And they pulled the guy out the car, and a mob was whooping this dude. Like, it was like hundreds of people in the street screaming like the Warriors. Like, remember that the scene? Yeah. Where they all start wilding out when the cops come?
Yeah, when it finally
after Cyrus gets bucked? Yeah, it was that. But it was crazy because we're looking at it, and my uncle even went and got his camcorder. Like, he tried to do the TikTok
Back in the day, you can't see shit. With that,
that shit was this big. He probably saw
-1 max zoom.
-1 pixels. he had his camcorder through the window and shit, and then you hear, "All right, cut," and it was a fucking movie or something that they were shooting. Right?
Everybody thought it was real.
Everybody thought it was real because there's no way to tell, bro. And that kind of shit would happen over there, so it wasn't out the realm of They
were just trying to look out.
Right. So, but they say cut, and I remember coming back home from school that day, and it was no film crew no more. Everything was done. It was like the block was quiet, and my mom tells me, "Oh, they were shooting for Law and Order. It was for that show, Law and Order." And I used to watch Law and Order all the time in Queens because we didn't have cable, so Channel 4 was like one of the Max channels. Yeah. That shit was like HBO back in the day.
Was it on Channel 4?
Like my grandparents had cable. They couldn't live without that shit. But in Queens, I didn't have cable. So weekends, I was all over HBO and all the good shit. And then back home, I'm like, damn, I got to watch
watching WB.
Neil Patrick Harris pretend to be a fucking doctor.
Superhuman Samurai.
Yeah, I used to watch all that. I mean, I was grateful for that too because that shit was all dope. But yeah, I'm watching that and that shit is always stuck in my head. Like, yo, what? I seen the episode when it aired. I remember when it aired and being like, oh, yeah, that's the scene. And everybody was all excited. You see the shit being shot. It's like a whole thing. And then on TV, it's like 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So you don't really get to really... And this is back then. You couldn't just stop rewind unless you're recording the shit. I don't think anybody was recording it or anything like that. I couldn't go online and look it up. None of that. So... Yesterday, I decided to just go crazy.
You found that scene?
I found that scene, son.
You hear it
I fucking found that scene, and the shit bugged me out, bro. Because I'm looking at it, and they show every angle of that block. Like they show everything that.
That's like the original one, right? With
the
like
original
Jimmy
Law and Order, not SVU, even beyond. No. This is like.
I don't even know if that's the same show.
Yeah, no. This is when my man from Sex and the City was still on it, like brand new, big. When he was big from Sex and the City. When he was on Law and Order, I forget that dude's name. I feel like I never knew that actor's name. Yeah. But that dude was a part of the first, wave of the cast, and it was a season 3 episode, and I found it, and same thing I remember, just them wilding out on this dude. You see Cheesy Pizza in the corner on Broadway. You see Carlos Barbershop. And then there's
Carlos Barbershop.
Yeah, you see Carlos Barbershop. And then
I used to get haircuts there when I was like 4.
Yeah.
4 or 5. Get the free lollipop.
Anybody who grew up anywhere near, like 830 Amsterdam or Douglas on Amsterdam or that, that little vicinity, Broadway even, people were going to Carlos Barbershop. Yeah. To get their haircut. I don't know if Carlos is still with us, but.
That's a long time. He was probably old. He was old back then.
That was back then. He was real cool, my grandfather.
He'd have to be probably pushing 100.
And he lived in 830 from what I remember. I don't know. I could be wrong about that. But as far as I know, I think I remember him living there. I don't know if he just had friends or family there or whatever, but I've seen him in the building before. But yeah, I found that scene, and there's even a part where the officer's talking to a witness, and the angle changes, and you see the back windows to like where I would have been watching the shit.
Yeah, that's nuts.
It's bugged out to me because I'm like, yo, I have somewhere there's footage of that. I don't know if my uncle still has that, but somewhere there's footage of that.
You can catch it from the other angle.
Right. And then it's tightly connected to a real life case that I'm going to be covering someday.
Oh, shit.
So that's going to be cool to like throw in there because I have to tell that story. That shit there's so much. I've had so many of those little tiny things.
Yeah, that's like the... time's a flat circle. How you could
it's bugged out, man.
Be looking back at yourself.
I mean, for me, I'm just a fan of seeing what the neighborhood used to look like too. Yeah, that's the biggest part for me when I watch all that old programming, whether it be NYPD Blue or Law and Order or whatever shows are out from back then. You get to see New York in a way that shit don't look like that no more.
Dude, that's something I don't think people think about because how lucky, right? Because, dude, there's a lot of parts of our childhood and shit that we'll never see again.
Never.
Maybe there's footage that exists, a good possibility, but we're not tracking it now.
I don't know what, I could imagine myself, asking people and, seeing who I'm sure there's plenty of people in Douglas and, filmmakers or, people,
that have a hold of something.
Yeah, that
pictures
have a hold
or something.
Yeah, pictures.
But it's it's not easily accessible.
You cannot act it might just be sitting somewhere in a fucking
and they don't even know people want to see it.
Yeah, and it sucks because there's so much of that was I feel like if it was out today, a place like Cyber Games or,
Laser Comics.
Laser Comics would be insanely popular. Like it'd be trending on TikTok. It'd be all over the place. But then again, that's kind of what makes it special, right?
Yeah,
that it wasn't that time. You didn't really need all that shit back then.
Yeah,
because you could kind of see it when all that stuff was starting to die down, and the business was changing, and all the arcades were starting to close.
People weren't hanging out no more.
Yeah, it was just it's like damn, this shit. And
that was a moment like you remember too.
Yeah.
Like oh shit, like shit is getting kind of weird. Like it was such a transition, and then it happened pretty quickly.
Yeah, the early 2000s into like 2004, 2005, like all that shit just started to. It was a quick progression. It felt like all that stuff was gone.
Yeah, right now, it's kind of wild to think about, but moving ahead, right?
Mm-hmm.
And from like 2005, you say on, it's probably the most documented time in the history of the globe.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
Dude, imagine if you're like a ancient civilization. Imagine we found fucking back from the Mesopotamia days or ancient Egypt, this much information about a civilization, to blocks, to streets, to the to people posting about themselves out there, throwing themselves into the ether. You think about what was like recorded back then, dude. It wasn't much.
You know what's sad though? While we're the most documented era right now, like everything is, they say nothing is ever erased on the internet.
Yeah,
that's only true for the foul shit.
Yeah,
let that be known. Like when it comes to controversial shit people don't want to forget. That's like for celebrities and certain people. That's the type of shit that never goes away. When it comes to some of the stuff you're seeing happening right now, like whether it be, kidnappings, murders in the Bronx, Brooklyn, the 5 boroughs, Miami, wherever, all that shit's being pushed out on the internet. It's like strictly digital.
Yeah.
I doubt you're going to be able to fucking find that shit in 20 years.
Yeah, because there's no...
I don't feel like it's going to be
archived
the downfall, same way. Yeah.
Because it's not physical media.
Right, and then on top of that, it's just the way things are now. I feel like things are very different where they don't... It's kind of like, why archive that? Like, who needs to see that?
Yeah.
It feels like there's more of like...
When they're not thinking about...
to just kind of push that shit to the side,
They're not thinking about, like, dude, I've watched, like, I'm sure you've seen them clips with, like, take a look back at this guy recorded at, like, in 1903 or some shit.
Yeah.
And you see just, like...
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bro, but it sounds like, oh, who gives a fuck? But it's fucking crazy, yo. Looking back 100 years.
Yeah, like, that's very important. Documenting the time that you came from, all that, like, I feel like that's very important. A lot of people like to hold on to that, not realizing that you don't have the luxury of time. You know what I'm saying? You might just... That shit is going to be... For anybody who's holding on to physical media like that displays a certain era and shows places like New York. I'm only talking about New York because that's where I'm from. And if you show New York in a way that people haven't seen it before, that shit is gold.
Yeah, people do want to see it.
Yeah, because, you take movies like Kids, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that is still popular because it's a time... Exactly. It takes you back to a time. Like, people don't believe that shit was just accurate.
Yeah.
Like, that shit was really a New York summer.
We forget so quickly.
Yeah, everybody, if you were a teenager in New York City in the late 90s, early 2000s, that was the type of summer you had more than likely. Aimless. You just get with your 2 or 3 of your friends. Yo, what we doing today? I don't know. Man, I'm broke. What about you? I got some. I got like $20. Y'all want to take a walk?
Nah, you didn't even need $20 back in the day.
Yo, but there was always that one kid that had the big bucks.
Nah, you give me $3,
I'm not saying that was me. I'm saying there was always somebody who was like, I'm good with money, but I don't know what y'all want to do. It was like, all right, cool. Then what are we doing? We got to take a walk. For us, it was like, yo, let's all get together, mob down to like fucking 42nd Street.
Yeah.
Get lost in the arcades, Broadway City, Barcode. Chinatown, fucking go down to Union. It was a bunch, like it was a tour. Like it just started at like 12 noon, and we were back on the block like at 10 p.m.
Just walking everywhere,
playing ball in a closed park, like 100 deep. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's really what a New York summer was like back then. I don't know what. It feels like I don't see that shit. I see a lot of kids playing and shit. That's cool, like playing ball and hanging out. But I feel like it's always associated with some digital shit.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's definitely not the same, man, at all. That shit is like, it really is such a fucking era, man. Dude, speaking about like shit that's like getting played out. I like to call people, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like to call and like, yo, people, you can't even really call people. You call somebody you haven't spoken to in a while, it's automatically like, huh.
What?
Like, yo, you good?
Yo, you alright?
Yeah, I'm trying to say what up, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
You could have texted me.
Yeah. It's like receiving a telegram from the war, bro. Like back in the day, like yo, where's this from Iwo Jima, bro?
That motherfucker
like,
sending a raven.
Yeah,
We should bring that back.
What, sending ravens?
Yeah.
To random people? And they just receive a note. Yo, send it to... Hey, this some real...
Get off the block.
Write it with a feather pen?
This shit was...
Are you stamping with the wax?
The shit was sent a month ago. This motherfucker got lost.
He takes it to some random motherfucker. A halal cart owner and shit. Like, he's just like, what the fuck? The fuck is this raven, bro?
Nah, yeah, man. It's a lot different, you know.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's important. That's why I try to go out and shoot as much as I can.
Yeah, dude, it's definitely.
And I feel like I caught it late. You know, I couldn't afford no cameras and shit like that when I was younger. When I was out in the street like that, when we were always hanging out, and when New York looked a lot different. New York's look now, and this is not to sound corny or like the old guys who like miss New York and shit. It's just,
we kind of.
It's a whole different place. Though.
Living is different,
bro. Like everything, it feels like everything here is made of glass. Like every building is glass. There's no concrete structures no more.
Bro, it's like the corporatization of like capitalism put on against architecture.
Yeah,
like it's all just. Of course, some architects that go, no, these grooves and all this, but everything is kind of like.
Yeah, it's like it just feels. I mean, you even have just birds and shit that can't stop dying because they keep crashing into buildings out here because they think they're flying in the sky. They see the reflections. That shit didn't happen as often before because now you got skyscrapers going up that are just made of big ass panels of glass. It's so corny. Like,
yeah,
it just loses. It just looks so like the only thing you could the only shit out here that really is like old New York is the fucking subway. You know what I'm saying? Like, the subway system always gonna be trash. Like, it don't matter how much that shit goes up.
They should just bring the red fucking train cars back.
It doesn't matter how nice them Omni machines are.
Yeah.
You're always gonna find at least 13 of them shits with nothing but spit and caca on them.
That's one thing I'd be jealous of. You ever seen, like, the train stations in, like Japan and shit?
Oh, no, listen.
Bro,
like,
they just be chilling. Like, nobody be loud.
Bro,
it'd be like,
you go to Chicago even. Like, their shit is mad clean. If you go to, like...
Is it?
Their subway system is fucking clean compared to ours.
Yeah.
You look at their...
shit is like...
You know what I mean?
I'm guilty of it, too. I got a rap. I've done it before. It's fucking... I dropped a piece of paper or some shit. I'm not picking it up. Like a dickhead.
I mean, it's just one of them things where...
We don't all take care of our shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of out of our hands, though.
Yeah.
Like, we have to take the subway every day, but... It's kind of one of them things where we have no control over how that... I mean, yeah, the throwing trash on the ground and shit like that, for sure. Throwing it in the tracks, that's a fire hazard and everything. But if you're not doing that, everything else, like the crazy floods that be happening in subways with the cracks, like all that shit is just fucking dissolving.
Yeah.
Over time, I don't know what kind of subway system we're going to have.
Structural integrity, like
absolutely
mishaps.
Yeah, nah, it's not.
It can't be good.
That shit don't feel safe.
Yeah, it used to never happen at such frequency.
Yeah, now it's all the
just
time.
Every year.
Yeah,
you see those videos like, yo, like fucking waterfalls down on the train station.
That shit is crazy.
You have to take a canoe to get on the L train and shit. Like, yo, why do I gotta...
looking like Venice.
Yeah.
Like, nah, fuck that. Like, I don't want to pay no whatever amount of dollars for that, bro.
Yeah,
like,
it's
that
insane,
shit is nasty.
Bro.
You know what I mean?
We were speaking about all this like old neighborhood and shit. Do you got like characters that stick out in your head, bro? From
absolutely.
Like old neighborhood. You know who I gotta bring up?
Who?
And yo, I don't know where he's at.
I feel like I know who this is already.
Hallelujah! Hallelujah! Glory! Glory! Yo, the Upper West Side. Yo, man, I want heaven to be so real because he deserves to get in there.
Yo,
man.
Listen, that dude. If you grew up on the Upper West, anybody from 90th maybe 94th on Amsterdam and Broadway up to like 110 remembers Hallelujah. I don't know that man's name.
I don't know his name. I think he was a pastor in like the Times Square church or some shit like that.
But he was always on the block, screaming
preaching
at the top of his lungs.
He loves you.
Yeah,
right?
he loves you. Hallelujah, hallelujah, glory, glory.
Jesus. He was like a fucking car alarm for God.
Yeah, you know what's funny about them characters? He
was a car alarm for God.
You know what's
glory.
God waking up. No, listen, what's crazy about that shit is that
I respect him. This is just,
my grandfather would get real tight at that man. Like I would, like he would hear ese pendejo ahí. Like he would get mad that this man was always screaming. But let it be a week where that man didn't show up. Mira, se quedó el pendejo. ¿Dónde está?
He was expecting.
He was expecting it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's one of the things where that's all that feels like it's a part of the neighborhood. Same thing with, you remember Ageoya?
Oh, the little dude. He had good one-liners.
Yeah, the guy that used to dance on the one train.
Yeah, Ageoya.
Yeah. It's getting hot in here. So take off all your clothes.
And then he lean back. Lean back.
He'd hang on to the pole.
Another
Upper West Side legend right
bro,
there,
on the train, bro.
I have a video of him.
Lean back.
Yo, you know what? We should play the video right here as we're talking about that.
You got a video?
I have a video of him.
Wow.
I took that.
He was old too.
I took that shit like he was still alive like 15 years ago.
Was he?
Yeah, because that video I took has to be around that old. But I for sure have a video of him because when I found it like a few months ago, I was hyped. I was like, oh shit, I don't even remember taking this.
Yeah.
And Hallelujah was around too at like
I would say like
2000, after 2012, 2000 maybe 2011.
The last time I probably remember seeing him was like 2009.
We were together. We were in the Upper West Side and he walked past us and we were like, yo. He was doing it again. We were like, yo, you remember that?
That was like 2008 or 9, bro. That's
maybe,
a long time ago.
Yo, it's such a while ago. It could be.
Yeah.
Damn.
Which is crazy to think, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I remember that dude's one-liners. He would say funny ass, like, what do you get when you cross a dinosaur and explosives? Dynamite. And
then start shaking his cup. He always had a good crowd. Nobody could hate him. Like he was just.
What did the Puerto Rican knife say to the potato? I'ma cut you, Papa. It's getting hot in here.
I mean, I don't know how many people we have here from the Upper West, but that shit.
It's just everybody.
Remember that.
But everybody got people from a neighborhood that you remember, like motherfucker named Squirrel or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, bro, we had a dude named Sonia around the block.
Really?
Yeah, like that was his name. And he was just always with a bag over it. Like, there were some people who would always, like, there were some people who thought he was a woman, but he would get upset at that. He was just like, no, and it was bugged out. Like, he was always up and down the block selling stuff on the sidewalks and shit.
Oh, you remember that? I do remember. Yeah,
there was a whole posse of them that used to chill in front of
these are like neighborhood. So everybody knows what we're speaking about.
Oh, yeah.
You remember, like, there used to be, like, known, like, what's the proper term these days? Is a proper term from like bums? I mean, homeless impaired or you know what I'm talking about? I was trying to do it right.
Houseless?
Anyway, houseless people.
Right?
There's a word. I can't think of the fuck. I'm not trying to be funny either, bro.
Homeless impaired. I've never heard that shit.
There's like a proper way to say it. Anyway, but they were just these people. And dude, it was like Hollywood. You remember Hollywood?
Yeah, I remember Hollywood. Hollywood was rich.
Yeah, he was rich, but he was on the street for years.
Yeah, and then he came back to the block one day in a limo.
Everybody knew him, so they called it Hollywood.
Yeah. Hollywood came back to the block one day in a limo.
And you remember Brooklyn?
Yeah,
She would always try to sing to you, bro.
Yeah.
And I used to pay her like, yo, don't sing. You don't gotta sing.
Just give her $2
But she wanted to sing. And I'm like, yo, you don't gotta sing, Brooklyn. Like, yo, you don't gotta be always sing like
you don't gotta sing
pretty
Brooklyn.
Young thing, repeat after me. And she'll do the whole song. And I'm like, Brooklyn, stop.
Brooklyn. Come on.
I gave you the money. It's cool. You don't gotta do this.
Yeah, man. That was definitely a whole different time, man. It's cool.
That was an era.
Yeah. I mean, you still see some of that now, but it's just weird. Like I'm not gonna lie, I was on the Upper West Side yesterday.
Yeah.
I took a stroll. I decided to walk from the crib all the way down over there. Bro, I couldn't recognize 103rd real quick. Like where the station is, where the Gristedes is, right? Where it
Oh,
used to
that
be.
hole where like Target is and everything.
Yeah,
and,
no,
like,
no, that's on like Columbus and shit.
Yeah,
I'm talking about on Broadway where the train is on 103rd. Remember how Gristedes was on the corner?
yeah,
But remember how like mad years ago there was a sporting goods store right there.
yeah.
That was a sporting goods store. I remember I got my first basketball from that spot.
Dude, even the Starbucks I used to work
Yeah.
at over a decade ago.
That shit is gone. That shit used to be right next to there was a 99-cent store, Regine's, a hotel. Like
Yeah,
that was the same block of Burger Plus and all that shit. There was a corner deli store there. Like everything, it's just weird to see so much shit opening up, and you're like, damn, this is wild boring. Like there's nothing that anybody would even want to be here for right now.
yeah.
Like I think where Gristedes used to be is now like a Columbia like hospital or like doctor's office or some shit. Like weird, yo. It's like, yeah, everything is gonna change. Obviously, you can't expect things to stay the same, but it trips you out when you see it transform into a whole different world. Like going back to what you were talking about on 100th Street in Columbus, where Sloan's used to be, which was also like Seatown, and then you had the bacon, egg, and cheese spot right next to there,
Yep.
and then you had the Chinese spot. Woolworth was on that strip for a hot minute.
Woolworth.
You know what I'm saying? You had mad ill shit. That everything's gone. Starbucks, Sephora, Trader Joe's. The shit is like a mall strip now.
Yeah,
It's trippy.
yeah, and like you could imagine like decades from now, maybe like in 10, 20 years from now, everything will just be like a factory and nobody goes out.
Maybe.
Like I think because we're headed towards that now. Most people get everything ordered,
Yeah.
like a good percentage.
Yeah.
Like once the younger people start getting enrolled and just continuing that, the other things get wiped away. Why would
Yeah.
you go to a store when you just press the button? Bing, bing, bing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, character is important, man. Some of the stuff that you miss about your old neighborhood or whatever is the fact that it set a certain vibe. People were there, like community. Like a lot of people were in
Bro.
these places together.
That's the key to this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no community no more.
Nah.
Maybe in certain parts
There
of
are little pockets,
America?
obviously, but no, even in the city, like there are certain neighborhoods that hold their own thing down. Like you can see it when you go to like El Barrio, or you go to certain areas of Queens, Brooklyn. Every place got their own thing. The Heights, every little, like you can even have in a whole borough, there might be 2 or 3 blocks that are like real heavy with tradition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about it, like
It's no longer around where we came up.
yeah, it's in comparison to what it was before, where it was just the norm
Yeah.
for it to be all over. Like when you start to see that kind of fade
You
away.
used to know your neighbors.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know maybe a couple of my neighbors, and I think they moved out. Like, like so I don't know any. Dude,
Yeah.
you would know your neighbors.
Yeah, nah, it's I don't know. I guess a lot of
It's
it
the
has
machine,
to do.
bro. The ever revolving. People don't stay places. People just get the grind.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
like-
a lot of people too just say they want to move to New York, or they come to New York and then they're like, I did it. It's too crazy, or they just. It's kind of like a story to go take back home. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
lived in New York. It wasn't for me. It's like, nah, you were shook.
yeah,
You didn't read. You paid attention to Zillow.
yeah.
You didn't.
New York is his own thing,
You didn't
man.
do an honest review. There's a lot. I'm not even gonna name names, but there's a dude I used to follow on YouTube who spent a great deal of his time telling you to move to New York, right? Telling you to come to New York City, get this 1-bedroom apartment for $30,000 a month or whatever absurd amount. That was his whole thing. Ever since this whole shit started declining and rents started skyrocketing and nobody wants to rent anything anymore and people stop coming out here, now his content is all about the crime in the city. It's all about the immigration crisis or whatever. And it's like, you spent mad time telling people to come out to the city, and now you're just talking about all the wild shit that's going on out here. But that shit always been wild.
Yeah,
Like I've seen this dude tell people to move to spots in Harlem that I'm like, my man, I wouldn't move there. And I'm from out here. I grew up in 3 different sets of projects, and I've never lived on nothing but a hot block. Like I don't understand why you would send somebody to go move to like a certain spot in East New York. Like, you know that shit ain't gonna be comfortable.
Yeah.
Because those are the people who are gonna fucking complain and act like they own the block and then run into problems. And then they end up leaving.
It's the same shit.
Bullshit ass cycle.
Same shit, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, you gotta be a little more honest than that. You know what I mean? Like, be honest. This shit ain't hard to figure out. You could look up at a fucking one of those maps that show you crime statistics, and you can see when a motherfucker's lying.
The gritty makes the city, though, bro. Like, I feel like, like, we could go most places in the world and not act a fucking idiot. Of course, you're always going to have some people be, like, not know how to move.
Yeah.
But the city lets you move amongst anything.
Listen, man, all I know is that I have plenty of friends who have moved to Florida, who used to be straight from Douglas, people who are from the city, and I don't hear them telling me they're running into problems with their neighbors because they're trying to act like they're from New York or trying to convert Fort Lauderdale into Little Manhattan or some shit. Like, it don't happen.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't come out from wherever the fuck you're from trying to act like you're trying to change. Like, yo, there's people who go to, like, a notoriously fucking loud neighborhood and try to complain. They did that shit around here. The church down the block on 128th.
Yeah.
They were like trying to complain about fucking the sermons and the Sunday celebrations and shit.
Wow, about the church.
This was years ago.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you're bugging. Like, who the fuck are you gonna move out here and tell people they can't do what they've been doing forever?
On a Sunday early.
Like on a Sunday morning?
Like at noon? Like, this ain't.
What are you talking about?
I just say you getting upset. It's 2 a.m.
Yeah,
on
like
a Sunday.
fuck?
And even then, I still hear people blast the music. I'm like, oh man, it's just good. They're probably off tomorrow.
I've never in my life made a complaint about somebody playing music loudly or like, bro. That's just what it is.
Yeah, that's just the city.
That's just what it is. It's different when it's some bullshit like motherfuckers honking their horn for dumb loud in front of the apartment or something. You live on the first floor. You might have a kid in the house. Who knows?
Yeah, that's
certain situations are different, but like noise complaints for music and shit like that
on a weekend or some shit.
Yeah,
come on, you gotta just expect it.
Yeah.
Yo, switching topic, that's mad random, but we never spoken about here.
Mm-hmm.
But I know you used to have, or maybe we have. I don't know. And you care if
back up off the mic a little bit.
You care if I light this?
Oh, go ahead. You go ahead.
Pass me that. Smoke break. Smoke break. Before.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
Oh, so yo, because it just died down now. But the whole thing about like, I always wanted to talk about it with you. With you. What are you doing?
You're so loud because you're going forward into the mic.
Oh, sorry.
You should talk. You should be like normal. Just sit back and talk like you're normally talking.
Yeah.
All right. So we could come back. We could just edit that in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I always wanted to bring it up because I always found it funny because whenever I think of like UFOs and aliens, bro, I know you had such a fear of like the grays growing up.
Oh my god.
From like fire in the sky. And
oh
shit.
My Jesus.
That was like it started out from a book too that you read, right?
Yeah, man. When I lived, I mean, again, you guys are gonna become real familiar with 830 because a lot of shit happened there. But it was 830 Amsterdam. One day I was just going through the cabinets in the apartment, and I ended up coming across a book called Communion, and it was by Whitley Schreiber, I believe the name is, the author. But it was a book about a therapist, like, or a book author. I can't remember. I'm like a little foggy on it, but his experience with alien abduction or whatever. So I read that. I started reading that and like picking it up, and I would kind of be scared to read it, but I would read it a little bit here and there and give myself fucking nightmares and shit. And I was always a big fan of sightings, so I was constantly watching sightings. And then Fire in the Sky came out, and it was over. I rented it from a spot right there on 101st. There was a spot named Joe's Candy Store, for anybody who remembers that. It was like near the corner, like
right where there's like a bar at right now.
Right, Joe's Candy Store, and I don't know if it was one with Joe's or if it was next door to Joe's. Can't remember, but they used to rent movies, and I saw Fire in the Sky was damn good, and it was like a movie that I was kind of shook on if I want to see it or not. I'm like, fuck, I don't know if I really want to jump into this or not. Did it, and I regretted it instantly. That shit was on my brain constantly. So that's where that fear came from. I used to have crazy nightmares about that shit. Like
that last scene is horrific in Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky. Are you talking about the alien abduction scene where they finally show you everything that happened? Yeah, that was weird, man. I don't know. Like, that movie kind of goes a little wild. Like, Jordan Peele touched on that a little bit with Nope. Like, that scene he has with the ship.
Yeah.
Sucking up all the human beings, and then you see them in the UFO, just kind of being eaten and being sucked up, and they're screaming. That's definitely inspired by Fire in the Sky.
That Travis Walton dude, he doesn't seem like... He's like a little eccentric, but he doesn't seem crazy when you hear him.
Yeah, nah, he doesn't. I mean, he's kind of...
Have you heard his like interviews and shit?
Yeah, he's been telling the same story for like 40 years or some shit. And as far as I remember, they weren't able to say if he was lying or not, but I know somebody's probably going to know more than me.
Yeah.
Because Travis's story has so many angles to it.
Yeah.
Like, some people truly believe he's a liar. You know what I'm saying? Some people really believe he's a liar. But...
Yeah, they could break it down.
Yeah.
What do you think? I mean, all these videos and shit that's been coming out, it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a lot of like, whatever it is, we need to know.
Listen, and my attitude about this...
It feels like so many just like, it's just bullshit after a while.
It's a fucking joke at this point. I'm going to be 40, bro. Okay? I know I look 15, 16 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, but I'm gonna be like you.
All right. I know I look 18, 19 years old, but I'm about to be 40, and I've been seeing the same dumb fucking videos. Grainy black and white camera showing a white dot flying mad fast. You hear some dipshit's voice. Oh my God, it's going so fast. Hey, you guys seeing this? Fucking get out of here with this shit. I'm tired of it. Like, I can't see what you see. This is the part that they fucking fuck up on. The videos you see trending all over TikTok, trending all over YouTube or whatever, involving UFOs, it's always that footage from the perspective of a cockpit, a radar.
Yeah.
You're supposed to use your imagination and know exactly how big the craft looks to the pilot. Like, they need to interview these people and, like, really tell you what that shit looks like. Because I would imagine that if you're in a... Imagine you're in a fighter jet.
There have been good interviews with.
No, there are, but those are not the ones that trend. Is what I'm saying. So the more popular shit is the bullshit. You don't get a real idea of what's really going on because some of these guys are in fighter jets. All right, and the fighter jets ain't small.
Yeah.
So if they're seeing something that's bigger than them in front of them, flying in the fucking sky,
and going at speed,
maneuvering around them and playing with them, that is miles wilder than what you're looking at on that bullshit ass video.
Yeah,
that doesn't even begin to describe
it
what
won't compute the same when you see it in person.
Right. So their reactions, are definitely authentic. I could hear it. I could tell that they're bugging out. But to me, it's like I want to know more from them. I want to know exactly how big that look, because that shit got to be crazy.
Yeah.
Being in a fighter jet and you see a craft that's circular. That's why when they say shit like, oh, it had no propulsion system, it just seemed to be going wherever it wanted.
It's things that go against our known understandings of physics.
Right. But to say no propulsion system means that you can tell, you can just look and see that there's no engines, no wings. It's just a fucking craft. That is significantly way crazier than what you're showing me. I just, it's not like I want an HD 4K video or nothing, but bro, at this point, it's like, yeah, the hello, bro. Like, leave me alone with this.
Until you got something.
Until
you got something concrete.
Until you got a motherfucker, another Roswell, and you let me see it.
Yeah.
Like, just leave me alone with this shit. You're wasting my fucking time, bro.
You know
how many real problems we got right now?
There's a lot of real problems, but I do think that alien shit is interesting.
No, I think it's very interesting. But I think I'm just done giving them my energy.
Yeah.
I've been giving it my energy since I was a kid. You know that. Like, I've been watching those same types of videos forever, and it's always the same story.
But do you? All right, because you know how I love science and shit.
Yeah.
You know, so I like talking about that because when you start thinking about ideas of another civilization contacting Earth and possibly being here, like you think about it, it's not far fetched in certain aspects.
Yeah.
But then it is sometimes because you're like, yo, all right. How far advanced would the civilization have to be to traverse the stars? And then when you start learning about distances, bro, so that shit is nuts. Like, yeah, you got to think about the technologies you would need. Like, yo, even going to the nearest just star, right, that has, planets orbiting it. I don't think it's any habitable ones. I believe it's called, I think the star is called Sirius. It's our closest nearest star. But anyway, I fuck all the names up and shit. But getting there, you would have to travel at light speed for over like 4.5 years. So that's traveling at 333,000 miles per hour.
That's it.
For 4.5 years at light speed, right? And then, dude, if you go at our normal propulsion right now, I think it takes like, dude, it's some ridiculous fucking number, bro. But it's like over like 20,000.
Yeah.
So you got to think about, and they're probably not just at the next star. If you're coming from somewhere, you might be coming from.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it's just one of those things where obviously there's something we're missing, right?
Yeah.
Obviously there's something that we don't understand about all of this. If all of this is what they say it is, and, I'm just going based off of the stories you hear. The one that freaked me out was hearing somebody say that they found off-road vehicles not of this earth.
Oh yeah, just UAPs and shit, vehicles that
not of this earth.
Yeah,
that shit should be freaky. Like if I would have heard that,
just knowing that somebody came here in a whip, like
not of this earth,
and you don't know if they're alive or dead.
You could imagine whoever they got to check that video. Get Phillips over here.
What's that motherfucker's name? He has a documentary. He's the guy who like came out years ago.
Yeah.
Like in the 80s, I believe.
Yeah. You talk about with the guy from the Disclosure Project?
I forgot his fucking name. Anyway, but yeah, dude. That dude was talking about working on a aircraft years ago. He came out with the whole thing about the element.
Yeah.
How he said that it used an element that wasn't even existed on Earth yet. It wasn't in our periodic table for another 20 years, and then it existed.
That's what I'm saying. So imagine the first people who saw that craft or whatever it was, or discovered those crafts and going, yo, this shit ain't even from here, dog.
Yo, who made this?
Yo, who the fuck? Where y'all got this? Yo, this shit is not from Earth, dog. Like, that shit is, it's crazy. If you would have said that 30, 35 years ago, that would be wild. Bro. Like, it would probably make people lose their minds.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not.
But and it happened now. Nobody's like, because like you said, it's nothing concrete. But I like thinking about it from the scientific perspective, thinking about what it takes to traverse the stars and shit like that, distances, what may be the use of black holes.
That's what I'm saying. It is something we don't understand. So for them, if it is so that there are beings traveling here from another dimension, whatever,
that's fast.
It's obviously going to be something that's, that we don't understand. That's like, okay, so this is what's missing, and there's a gateway that just opens up. We're here instantly, bro. Like some Fantastic Four teleportation shit. Like,
I think AI is gonna figure out our next like. What's your ideas on AI?
This shit is like I'm over it already. Like, I'm fucking over it. Yeah. Like, I'm fucking done. Everybody is gonna start saying AI is responsible for XYZ. I had a dipshit tell me some like some pictures related to like September 11th were AI. Like the pictures have been shown everywhere for the last 20 something years. Oh, I find it weird these pictures come out now when AI is available. Like, you guys are fucking stupid. Just get in touch with reality, bro. It's not that deep, man. Like, that kind of stuff is very touchy because it's like anybody could just enter a prompt and get whatever you want. It's pretty funny. Like, sometimes there's some pretty funny shit being made. A lot of interesting stuff. It could be very helpful, but you could already see how it could be annoying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't even have a song drop without knowing if the shit's real or not. Like, oh, did Drake drop a response? Oh, nah, that was AI. Oh, was that a real Kendrick song? No, it was AI. It's like, bro, that shit is annoying. Like, stop. You motherfuckers are corny with that.
It's soulless shit.
Yeah, like, nobody cares about that shit.
You know what scares me about AI is that, like, when the crossroads to them implementing it fully into robotics, like Boston Dynamics type shit, and like just like full human-like robotics and shit. Dude, I think there's gonna come a point where, because bro, like there is so many issues going on, and most of them stem back from like things that should have been solved a long time ago. Right? So we're so like behind on solving shit in America and in the world and shit. And we're dealing with some shit that's gonna fucking cause so many fucking disruptions, because the business is gonna just start using those things. Companies gonna start using those things. It's people who talk about universal basic income. Yes, it sounds good as a safety net, but it's not good when there's no way to make more than that.
Yeah.
You know, like that. Then you're just saying a couple few like super rich overlords like Elon Musk and shit.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I mean, there's people now people are like, I don't like anybody suggesting AI to me for shit. Like, I don't want AI doing nothing I can't do. You know, that I can already do. You know what I mean? Like, it may take me longer, but who gives a shit? Like, at least I know. You know how many mistakes that shit makes?
yeah.
Like, there's people who already been caught trying to pass off AI shit as their own work. And it's like, yo, you didn't even proofread this bullshit.
I do find it funny because if you imagine if it was truly artificially intelligent, like the spectrum of humans, right?
Yeah.
A lot of it would fuck up.
I mean, if AI wants to be like humans so much, it's just going to be as shitty as us. Yeah. Like, there's no point.
In a couple years, that shit's going to stop going to work. That's just going to...
AI is going to arrive late.
He didn't come check him out. He takes his own batteries out. Like, yeah, I'm good, puppy.
No, it's like, yo, bro, like, I miss just people wanting to... It seems like a real safety net right now. People just jump to that shit for a lot.
It's going to get... That's what I'm saying. But you know what? Hey, man, that's what it is.
I mean, I listen, I choose to not fuck with it, really.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny, though. Like, some of the memes that get made, funny-ass commercials, shit like that.
Yeah.
But now it's just like...
The movie shit is fucked up. How you could just make these crazy scenes. I think it's called Sora or some shit like that. It's this AI program.
Yeah.
Dude. Because you're just going to type in what you need. And I could see myself even wanting that, which sucks, you know? I'd rather get it with the cameras and really go do it.
I mean, it's definitely going to do stuff that is impossible to shoot. You know what I mean? Or impossible to make.
But if you need, like, I need a quick background in this place that looks like, you know.
I mean, that's why it's all more important to... Takes us back to what we said earlier. Physical shit. Like, shoot your own stuff. You know what I mean? Stick to a practical way, man. Because it's just very... There's no soul in that shit.
That's exactly.
You know what I mean?
It's Shang Tsung got to that one.
There's definitely no soul in that shit. It's very, like... It's very basic prompts. You know what I mean? It's not like it's something that wasn't created. It didn't have a lot of thought put into it. I'm not saying that. But it's just... In no way, shape, or form should a creator of any type be using that shit.
Did you hear about there was a guy working on like an artificially like AI chatbot.
Oh yeah, and the shit started creating a language, right?
No, I think that was on Facebook recently. Like,
that was
creating
crazy.
Its own
That's
language
what I thought you were talking about.
And communicating with the other programs. Which is, and people could understand it. Like, all right, come on, man. you don't find that a little suspicious?
They're talking.
This shit is mad early in it too, and they're already like, yo, these niggas.
They're plotting. Let's take these motherfuckers out.
Yeah, let's take these motherfuckers out. These dumb dolphin humans ass motherfuckers. Anyway, AI, man, that's a fucking interesting thing, man.
Yeah, I don't know that we have a real future with. I mean. It's gonna be around forever now.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's already proven to be something that's more annoying than anything in my eyes. I haven't seen anything like I've seen pretty funny shit. That's about it.
But it's like you could get that from other things. Like you get that from
people.
Yeah. Like, dude, come on.
Yeah. Like I used to laugh at shit like that when people drew it. You
know?
Now it's like funnier because it's just absurd how it looks. It looks so realistic. Like that one meme of Post Malone wilding out on someone at Domino's.
Oh,
where it's Post Malone and his cornrows are fucked up.
Yeah.
And he's swinging on a Domino's guy in the back. See, that kind of shit is funny.
Yeah.
Because I would never see that image in real life, probably. But, again, like, it's not worth it to me.
Yeah.
Like, AI's not worth me seeing that photo. You know what I mean?
But, yo, going back, I was talking about the chatbot dude, because that's a crazy thing, right? Like this motherfucker, like he working with it, I think for like a few months straight, and then he started just talking with it like nonstop.
Yeah.
Like he said it was sentient. I forget the program's name. He was like, yo, he swore it was sentient. Like he started making like a rift at the company. He quit. He was like, yo, we can't, like, he bugged out about it. And he kept saying it was a sentient being. And I'm like, bro.
So basically, he was saying this shit is got a mind of its own, and they were just like, fuck you, get out of here.
Yeah.
We're going to profit off
And
this.
even if that, I don't think it's real, because I know it's still at the program stage. It's not to that level yet. People think AI is as advanced as it is, and it's still not directly there yet.
Yeah.
What we imagine as AI, it's not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, so this dude was confused, but I was like, yo, what? That bot was just probably shitting on him, right? That would make me believe it. Like, motherfucker, get out this office, you fucking bum. You talking to a bot for 2 months? Get the fuck out of here. You
Go get some
dweeb,
fucking
bro.
friends.
Yeah, yo.
Touch some grass.
Then that's when he was like, oh, this shit is sentient.
Shit is talking to me.
It was totally right.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It feels like that's just it comes with the times, you know. For the way things have been going the last few years, I'm not surprised that this kind of snuck up on people the way it did.
Yeah.
You know, it's.
Did you see Game of Thrones?
I didn't.
The premiere?
I haven't seen the premiere. I'll be watching that tonight.
You gotta watch it, but you watched last season.
Yeah, I know.
Yo, sometimes I think randomly, and it's like a real thing. Like, Game of Thrones ended bad. It's like, damn.
But that's HBO.
They end a lot of shit.
HBO ends a lot of shows bad, bro. Like, I don't give a fuck what you tell me, bro. Stop it. Every Sopranos fan's about to get crazy. Oh, you just didn't understand. I don't give a fuck. That ending was trash.
For such a good show, you kind of expected more.
Like, I see what they were doing. I just didn't fucking like it.
I get the artistic.
I get it.
Yeah.
Like, yo, you can imagine that the guy that walked in went to the bathroom, probably had a piece, and you could imagine that he got smoked at the end.
You maybe want to see it. That would be more finality.
Yeah.
To like ending to such a good show.
If you would have ended that show the same way, like James Gandolfini looking up at the camera, and just from his view, like not even, you don't see who did it. You just see him kind of look up, and a bullet hits him in the head, and then the same thing happens to his daughter and his mother and the mother.
That would have been.
And then they're just all face down on the fucking. Everybody around them is screaming and ducking and calling the cops, and the guy just walks out, gets in the car and slides off, and the camera's pulling out for like the last minute, pulls all the way out, and you hear the commotion of the people in the.
And that's the end.
And as the credits roll, you see the cops rolling up. Like that shit would have been one of the more, to me.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really care what anybody else says. Like, to me, that would have been like an epic ending, because I would have got the same thing out of that.
People wanted to see something.
That was my. You wanted me to use my imagination in that ending, right? That's what they said with that ending. Like, oh, you know, he's gonna look up at the camera and then it cuts to black. Now you're left to decide what happens. Does he survive? Does he get killed? Is it, you know?
Yeah.
Because that ending looked like that guy that walked in was about to do something. Like, he walks off and goes into the bathroom. You know, it seems like maybe he had a piece under the toilet, you know, waiting, and it's something you've seen in movies before or whatever. Maybe he gets smoked at the end. So you wanted me to use my imagination, and my imagination says that's what's happening. That's
a good ending.
Same thing with Oz. Oz ended like shit.
Yeah.
That show was so good.
And those first like 3 seasons of Oz, is fucking awesome, man.
Yeah. The Wire season like 5.
Yeah.
It was just, it went off the like, I love The Wire. David Simon in general.
Yeah, I liked what they did with it, because how it's like it's each part of their system that makes up a city, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's the first season is supposed to be about like cops. I think the second one is
cops and street shit.
Workers and union workers.
Mm-hmm.
The third was the school system, I believe.
The third was
media?
No, the third might have been the governor and everything. Like, it was all the politics, with Carcetti and running for mayor.
And then the fourth
was the school, and then 5
and then media.
Was the Baltimore Sun, because David Simon's an ex-journalist of the Baltimore Sun. He used to write for that paper, the creator of the series. So you know, that was
genius way to break down a show.
Yeah, I love all of that.
That's a great way
because when
to think
season
about
2
it.
came out, people were like, "Yo, what the fuck is this?"
Yeah,
Like this shit's about a bunch of Polish dudes on a pier. But then you started to see how it all kind of ties in. That was everybody's reaction when it first came out, though. Like, yo, what the fuck? This is crazy. This is mad different. But then you see that they still involved everything else, and it worked out. But season 5 went off the fucking rails. You know, like they do that shit a lot. HBO.
yeah. It would have been like, I guess I get the order of things,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, but you kind of wanted to end a different way too.
I feel like Game of Thrones, the problem with that shit is that those dudes, and this is not me, those guys did a great job for a good amount of time, right? I think that, in my opinion, it felt like, or the impression I got from what I saw, was that they were very good at adapting the world of Westeros and the Seven Kingdoms and everything like that. They were really good at showing you what that world translates to from book to, you know, to the world of
but
TV.
not having the
But
outline.
when it comes to having the ideas written already,
Yeah.
because once Martin had nothing written, it became like, okay, let's go off of what the fucking fans are saying. It's like every fan theory was confirmed and shit. It's bogus. It was so rushed.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It just felt very, very,
it had such a, it was at such a peak.
yeah.
But they should have just focused on that because it was such a solid. It's one of the best ones ever, though.
I mean, it was just to me, it was very
showed.
lazy. Like, even if they went the route they went, it could have been done way better.
Yeah.
Like, there was no reason why the Night King should have died as easily as he did.
I always thought,
All this hype for that bullshit.
bro, and there's little things that you just could add in that could salvage even those things, right? Like, to me, one of the things I was upset about was not seeing like a one-on-one with Jon and the Night King that lasted a while.
Yeah.
Like, it should have been like a real sword, like choreography battle for like at least like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
You know?
I thought what should have happened is that Jon Snow and the Night King should have got into it, and the Night King is putting the beats on Jon Snow. Like, he's just whooping him.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, while he's getting whooped, Arya's just working her way through the fucking the fucking his army.
Yeah.
And she was becoming like a stealthy ass like warrior. They were trying to make her to be, right? They should have made her just crazy action, camera following her, like slicing heads off, stabbing dudes in the chest, kicking, like jumping over dudes until she makes it to Jon, and she's the one. You remember at the last minute she comes and jumps,
Yeah.
and he grabs her. You could have done that, but
could've
show
done
us
that
her
too.
making her way there,
Yeah.
like washing the whole army to get to Jon, and she saves Jon. And
during
then
that battle.
you give us a Raid Redemption style
Battle.
2-on-1 battle. Like, oh, not Raid. Well, is it Raid Redemption? The first one?
I believe so.
It is Raid Redemption, yeah. So, you know, where like Mad Dog fights both the brothers.
Yeah.
Give us that with
Gritty.
Arya and Jon and the Night King, and make that shit like 5 minutes long of nothing, no music, just straight.
Yeah.
Like make it that she gets
Yeah.
nearly murdered. Kill Arya. This shit don't got nothing to do with the book no more. Who gives a
Yeah.
fuck? Like, you're ending the series, bro. Like, why do you want to play it so safe? I don't care about nobody's opinion. If the show's ending, I'm killing everybody. It's the way, you know what I mean? Like,
I just wanted to see that battle, man.
and then you got Bran Stark, who pretty much knew everything that was gonna happen, or he was no longer Bran. He was like
Yeah.
the Third Eye Raven. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. I wouldn't have lasted in that world, bro.
What house you would have been in?
I would have been with the Vipers, I guess, right?
Oh,
Those are like the only Latinos on the
Yeah,
whole
right?
show.
I would have been with the fucking. I would have been Dothraki, bro.
Dothraki
Road.
I can't understand them dudes. Dothrakis are definitely from the Bronx.
Yeah,
'Cause
Dothraki Road, bro.
Dothraki, bro. Oh my god, I would have not. I don't know. Those dudes are really they're wild.
Yeah.
Like, those are the dudes you kind of want to stay away from when you start making moves. Like, nah, these dudes are too wild, man. They're gonna make it hot for me.
George Martin is from Jersey, bro. So when he was thinking of Dothraki, he's definitely thinking of motherfuckers from the Bronx and shit. He's thinking of motherfuckers from Jersey City, bro.
Dothraki, that sounds like be a Puerto Rican gang.
Yeah, that's yeah, from 1997, the Dothraki.
The Dothraki. Yeah, nah, I mean that whole world, you know, I feel like it was very well done, but it just kind of, like anything else, man. I feel like I don't know what HBO has to do with it. I don't know if it's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
I guess it's hard to do in a lot of shows. You know, it's hard to end sometimes.
I mean, bro, they ended. In my opinion,
some people lose the point. Some people,
The Leftovers.
Yeah.
The Leftovers was a great show.
I never got to see that. It was three seasons.
It was 3 seasons, and that's all he wanted to do. Same guy did Watchmen, and he didn't want to do no more than 1 season of that either. So he's about quality.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to tackle any project.
Mm-hmm.
If you could let it be what it needs to.
Yeah.
You know, I get stretching it out for like business sometimes, but if a show ends perfectly at 9 or 8 episodes, why stretch it to 10 if you make the 8 fucking sick?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You got to think a little.
Some episodes are just filler.
Yeah.
You know, you could tell when they are too. Or sometimes it's a slow burn. It makes sense sometimes, but and sometimes other times you could definitely tell when the shit is just like, oh, we have to do something. Or it just feels like an extension. Like if it was a longer episode that was just cut in half and there's like not much really going on, doesn't do much for the story. I could definitely understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's, I guess, programming. It's just changing, the way things are handled with shows being shot and those types of shows. There's a lot of money put into it. I don't know if they're seeing their money back on that. I don't know what the ending of Game of Thrones did for them, but that was a bad ending, bro.
Yeah.
Bad ending.
Yeah, that was a rough one, man. It was just disappointing. You were like, man, this was the show.
Every telenovela from the 90s ended better than that shit.
Marima ended better than that, bro.
Maria del Barrio ended 30 times better than Game of Thrones, brother. Come on, man. That shit, it's not everybody's shit, but especially when you set a bar for yourself, and then now you're forced to just kind of go out like that. I thought they were in a rush to end it because they had a contract coming up with Disney or something.
Yeah, for Star Wars.
And I think they got dropped from that, didn't they?
Oh, I don't know. I hope they got it.
I think they got dropped. I think that shit ain't even happening no more.
Wow.
Can't even rely on Star Wars being like 100% ill anymore, from what I hear. Like,
some of it is cool. Like,
I know the Mandalorian
was cool.
I know the Mandalorian was good. I know that.
Yeah.
I think it was Boba Fett. People hated that shit for some reason, or some people.
I didn't mind it either. I think that whole world building right there is pretty decent.
The thing is, I just talked to people who are like Star Wars fucking fanatics. Yeah. Daniel is a Star Wars fanatic, and some people have very strong opinions of it. I don't understand it because I've never been into that.
I'll tell you this.
Like that.
I think there is definitely some of it that's good, and I like how they taken the tones in certain places a little more dark, you could say, compared to like the trilogy prequel and shit. And like they brought it, modernized it, but it's just too much.
Yeah.
Just like Marvel, just too much. Sometimes you need like to hit the brakes and spread it out.
I mean, too much too. It is too much, but it's also just, it could be too much if it's good.
Yeah.
If you have that much faith in yourself that everything you're gonna put out is heat, it could be done. But if it ain't hitting like that, just fucking save it.
Yeah.
Because now it damages the brand. You know what I mean? Like, people don't go into it with the same faith as before. Like, they don't think, like, you can't go to a Marvel film now and be like, yes, let's go, baby.
Yeah.
You just kind of hope.
They had good films for a while.
Nah, everything up into Endgame was solid.
Yeah, I was like,
they right. Had their, they had a few duds in there, but it was nothing like now.
Yeah.
Like, now it's just, I could skip over a whole shitload of them shows.
But now they just they're adding fake characters and shit. Like, they're doing too much. Oh, the Red Cucaracha. He's from fictional fucking...
Cucaracha, man?
Yeah, you never heard of the Red Cucaracha from... He migrated from a fictional Latin country to join Omega Red.
That's ridiculous. Omega Red.
The Red Cucaracha. Yo, I guess we'll be fucking ending this. I'm high as shit, bro.
Yeah, Mario.
Whoa.
Mario's pretty baked.
Yeah, I got baked right now, bro. I was talking about weird shit. I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, just cinema.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to the fathers, man. All our friends that are fathers.
Yeah. Happy Father's Day. You know what I mean?
We should have said that episode before, but
yeah, true.
Yeah,
this is late.
Yeah, super late, but shout out to y'all.
Yeah,
but one of the funniest things I saw again was the motherfucker that goes around tackling deadbeat dads.
Oh wow!
Have you ever seen that?
I've never seen that.
He wears the football gear. Bro, that shit is hilarious.
He goes around and tackles deadbeat dads.
Yeah, deadbeat dads.
He has a list of them or some shit.
He's like he's like a straight offensive lineman. Like the usual size wears football pads, and he gives him like real. And he'll set him up too. Like one of his boys, be like, "Hey, yo, what's your name? What's your name, Jose?" And some shit like that. So he's a deadbeat. It's like, your name Jose. And you go, yeah, what's up? And the dude will come tackle him from the other direction.
Shit. And this shit is real?
Bro, if it ain't real, they're paying these guys to take some crazy hits. But I'm pretty sure it's real because dudes are trying to fight him. Like, and he gotta run, you know?
That sounds pretty funny.
It was just crazy, man.
Don't be a deadbeat dad.
Nah, man. But shout out to those fucking pops that are there, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's just another week. Tune in the next couple weeks, right?
Yeah. We got a lot coming.
Got a lot coming for you, man. A few months, man. I'm excited to be doing this. It's
plenty
fun.
more sketches. Thanks for all the love on the Detective Bravura.
Yeah, that was fucking fun to do, man.
Yeah, it was cool.
Thank you for watching and
even
caring, you know. It's cool to put these things out.
Always appreciate the love.
Same, yo. Like, share, and follow. That's what people say on these things.
Yeah, on these things you gotta kind of do that. Yeah, so like, share, follow.
Do that. Yeah.
It's been another week of Saturday Gigantic. Appreciate you, all of you guys clicking play, and I will see you again next week.
Peace.